Hi everybody, welcome to week 2 of module 3, where this week we are just going to be focusing on traditional literature. First thing we always do, of course, is click on our overview page, and it's going to tell us everything we have going on this week, as well as what to look ahead for. Our focus in our reading is going to be on traditional literature in your course modules. And once you have completed your traditional literature reading, then you are on to complete your reading organizer, which is the same as we have done every single week thus far. So you are just going to continue on, keep up the good work with that, focusing on each particular prompt, your word count of 75 to 100 words per question, and submitting to the Dropbox by Tuesday of this part of the module. Once you have completed your reading organizer, then the only other thing left for this week is to do your reading commentary number 5 on traditional literature books. So let's take a look and see what this reading commentary is all about. As always, you're going to choose 2 books from this traditional literature link. Now, if you are finding that there is not a book on here that you really want to read, but you know of a traditional literature book, you have one in mind, but it's not on this list, I am absolutely okay with that, as long as you can prove that it is in fact a traditional literature story. So again, this is just a list of possible books, does not have to be the exhaustive list. You can use one if you really have one in mind. Pick 2 traditional literature stories and then come back and get ready for your initial post. Of course, you're going to include the title and the author of the book. And from the reading that you did in the module readings on traditional literature, you will tell me the type of literature that this book is, what type it is, and why you think so. The reading is very specific on the different types of literature, so you should be very familiar with that by the time you get to this part in the commentary. Please use language and definitions from the text to support the analysis, so in-text citations would be great here. The types of literature are folk tales and fairy tales, ballads and epics and legends, myths, and tall tales. Next, you will tell me what culture the story represents or teaches us about in 1 to 2 sentences. And what the next one is, what do readers learn from the story? Is there a life lesson? Is there a question answered, such as why something happens, such as why does a zebra have its stripes? Is there a question which is good versus evil? Is there a moral or a lesson or something that has occurred in this story? This should be about 2 to 3 sentences. And then based on what you have read about child development in our previous week, last week, what age or grade do you think this piece of traditional literature would be good for and why, in 2 to 3 sentences? So you could use your text from last week to help back that up. And then as always, attach an image of the 2 books that you chose to read, either one image with both books or both books individually, or the picture of your e-reader with your books. Please be sure that you are responding to at least 2 peers in a way that's hopefully going to extend the conversation. Remember, your response posts are due by Sunday. If it's easier for you, make a little note on your computer or set an alarm on your phone that will help you to remember to respond to your peers so that you do ensure that you get those 2 points for this reading commentary. Okay, that is all that is due this week, and mainly the reason why it's a lighter week is because you just completed a literature study and you do have one coming up. So as we look ahead, as we jump back to our overview page, remember that you should be reading The Hunger Games. This is going to be due in Module 4, so it is important that you are starting that book. If you hopefully haven't started yet, start this week. It's going to sneak up on you quick, and it is, although a very fun and quick read, it's a pretty long book, so you need to give your time to do that. Please don't just watch the movie. Please make sure that you read the book. It's much better, as they always are. Of course, if you are wanting to look ahead to future reading commentaries, check out this library book checklist to see what's coming up in Module 4 to help you prepare for that if you are going to be getting crunched on time, this is a great way to help you with your time management. And okay, so you are reading your book for your literature study number 2, but looking way ahead towards the very end of our module, due in week 15, the final literature study will be due on The Invention of Hugo Cabret. Now, this is a very large book. Most of the pages in this book are illustrations, but in order to get the full understanding and the full picture of this book that I hope that you get, I really would like you to start reading The Invention of Hugo Cabret now. If we were in a face-to-face course, I would be reading you a portion of the book every day. The last 10 minutes of our class would be devoted to reading this book together. But since we're not in face-to-face, I suggest maybe the last 10 minutes of your day, reading about 10 minutes a day of Hugo. The pictures, the illustrations, I should say, they're so beautiful and they're so valuable, and they just paint a glorious picture that goes along with the text. So you want to absorb each illustration and absorb each page where there is actual words, because it really just goes hand in hand. It's a masterpiece. So please make sure that you're giving this book the time it needs. So by the time you get to week 15, which is almost the last week of our course, right at the end of December or middle of December, you'll be ready to do this literature study. 10 minutes a day of Hugo and you are good to go if you start now. Okay, everybody, so that is it for looking ahead. We will wrap up Module 3 this week, and next week is Module 4. And just to give you a little taste of Module 4 as you look ahead, we are talking about poetry, realistic fiction, and fantasy, all wonderful things. So I'll see you in Module 4. And if you have any questions or concerns in Module 3, you know you can always email me through Canvas, and I will do my best to respond to you within 24 to 48 hours. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you in Module 4. Bye!